Good evening, welcome to FailCraft Casts. I'm Hammy, hope you're well, and welcome to everyone live on twitch.tv/FailCraft Cast. It's Arena Tuesday, we're going to be picking our own arena. You folks on Twitter and in chat have voted for Warlock, so we're going with a bit of Gul'dan today. And as folks in chat decided to pick our first card, I'm just going to type these away in chat. Forgive me my typing. I will quickly go through how we go through this. What we do, we review our deck at 3 points. We go through 3 rough, simple rules to make sure our arena is broadly reasonable. But of course, chat has final say. So if your chat's feeling in a good mood, if people picking cards are in a good mood, then we might have a strong deck if we pick the best of what we have. If we're feeling in a funny mood, we'll pick a silly, fun deck, and that's no problem whatsoever. Rule number 1 we pick by is review often. So try and review your deck 3 times before you get to 30 cards. Rule number 2, take a look at your mana curve in the middle and spells against minions when you do pick cards. Do you have lots of cards in the early game? Are you rushing? Lots of cards in the late game? Are you trying to control? Or are you trying to win in the mid game if you've got a big mana curve in the middle there? And then number 3 rule, once we've done those 2, is do in our deck a play-by-play review of everything that we have, turn by turn by turn. That means that we can sort of take a little look and decide, do we need some more early game cards? Do we need some more late game cards? Do we need tanks? What are we missing? So if you combo those 3 rules together, reviewing often means you can try and tweak your picks as you go. Looking at your mana curve, your spells against minions, helps you see if you've got any strategy or theme coming together, and your turn-by-turn playthrough helps you identify any cards or areas of your mana curve, of your play-by-play you might be missing. So if you're new to Arena, we need 3 simple rules. We try and pick by those. It will give us a reasonable deck where hopefully we can play something turn on turn on turn. That's worst case. At best case, we can get some really nice, strong stuff. So it looks like top 3 cards. Bloodcell Corsair. Remove 1 durability from your opponent's weapon. Not bad. A 1/2, reasonable for its mana cost. Sludge Belcher, very strong tank. Graded, constructed in pretty much lots of ladder decks. We'll drop into Arena. Argent Commander, good for making trades, good attack and charge, even for that 6 mana. The Divine Shield means it will help trade positively. Looks like Sludge gets the nod. Next we have a Reckless Rocketeer, a Micro Machine, or a Sense Demons. And Warlock, of course, chosen by everyone on Twitter and in stream. Reckless Rocketeer, again a good finisher, not so bad. 5 attack and 2 health, pretty good at finishing off arenas. Been used by many people in some cases instead of Leroy. Micro Machine, good if you can protect it behind a tank. At the start of each turn it gains 1 attack, the 2 health is low. If you can buff the health, that's very, very handy. And then last but not least, Sense Demons. 2 random demons from your deck into your hand. Good if we have a bunch of demons. If we don't, then it's useless. So if we pick a Sense Demons now, second pick, we need to make sure that we're actually trying to pick enough demons to make it worthwhile. So perhaps 1 to leave. Rocketeer, some votes for Rocketeer, votes for Micro Machine for more. Yeah, I think, if it was me picking, I'd probably go between some of the picks that you guys have gone for. I'd probably be inclined to steer away from demons. Okay, that's going to look like it. What is going on? Micro, in comes Andy. Welcome, Andy. Hello to Umbra and everyone live. It's good to see you. So next we have a Demon Fire, Tauren Warrior, or a Sense Demons. Again, already covered Sense Demons. Demon Fire, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it's a friendly demon, give it 2/2. Not bad. That's got there's an older cousin of that card. In Goblins vs. Gnomes, Demon Heart, something similar. So good, you can nuke a minion, 2 damage for 2 mana, not so bad. But then if we do have demons, then 2/2, very, very nice too. Tauren Warrior is a solid minion. What we talk about when we talk about solid minions is this. Take a minion and look at its mana cost. What if its attack and its health are pretty similar to its mana cost? That's probably going to be a solid minion. And providing, of course, its card text isn't derogatory, isn't negative, it's not something that causes a problem, like the infamous Deathlord, which we all know and love for a given definition of love. A solid minion is good in Arena. Even if you've got nothing else to pick, playing a solid minion means that you'll play a minion that should do something on that turn. It should trade or do something similar. Universal vote for Demon Fire while we've been waiting. Next we have a Sacrificial Pact. South Deckhand, or a Loot Hoarder. So, solid minion concept. If there's nothing else to pick, if you've got sort of a tough cook, nothing's really going to contribute to your deck, there's nothing that screams, I'm really useful, go for the solid minion, because then if you hit it, you'll have something good to play. Sacrificial Pact, destroy a demon, restore 5. You can, of course, destroy enemy demons with that if you're playing a Warlock. Restore 5, or you can destroy one of your own demons. So, of limited use if you have demons. At the moment, we got none, but we could have some. Southeast Deckhand, great if you're a weapons-bearing class. We are not, because we're a Warlock. And then Loot Hoarder, and Death Rattle, draw a card. Drawing card is great. Loot Hoarder, universally getting the nod. Loot Hoarder, its ability is just solid, solid, solid. And of course, if it stays alive for a turn, if it doesn't get zapped by your opponent or silenced, you might be able to do 2 damage with it as well. So, great ability. Great. Well, reasonable stats, great ability. Card draw in card games, as we always like to say, always pretty good. Ravenhold Assassin, Imp Master, Bloodsoul Corsair. Ravenhold Assassin, a solid minion, 7/7/5, lower health from the 7/7s, but the stealth means that it'll stay alive, and then it'll swing and do some damage. It'll trade a minion or hit your opponent to the face. For that reason, solid. Bloodsoul Corsair, remove 1 durability from your opponent's weapon, we've already covered. Imp Master, now at the end of your turn, do 1 damage to this minion, summon a 1/1 imp, and I believe the imps are demons. So, Demon Fire, demons, Imp Master, a little bit of a combo there, potentially, but the 1/1 tokens, of course, can get removed from the table very easily, the 1/1 imps. Do you fancy a later game card? Do you fancy the Imp Master in the early game? We're still early days, I think, go for what you fancy. We see Raven, I see a couple of imps, I see a couple of ravens. What do people go for? Ravenhold Assassin, decisive contribution there, and Ravenhold goes ahead. I think that's going to be a Ravenhold, unless we get anyone else jumping in. Ravenhold it is. Next we have a Succubus, a Murloc Tidehunter, or a Mad Bomber. Mad Bomber, one of the princes of this stream, a crowd-pleasing crowd favourite. Who knows where that random 3 damage is going to go? He is a solid minion, and the damage, well, we just don't know. But always fun to find out. Murloc Tidehunter, Battlecry of summoning a 1/1 Murloc Scout, 2 for 1. And then the Succubus, a ridiculously strong Battlecry of discarding a random card. Okay, losing a card not great, but the stats of that minion, typical for Warlock. You get a strong card earlier in the game, but there's some kind of negative side effect. And regardless of their feelings, I may as well just I may as well just grab the bomber now. Grab the bomber now. Okay, Storm and Knight, Raptor, Yeti. A nice, easy triple pick. Storm and Knight's good for making trades with small minions, or if you can buff its attack, otherwise slightly undertuned for its cost. Bloodfin Raptor, a solid minion, 2/3/2, excellent stats, great for that stage of the game. Yeti, a solid minion, but just bigger. Yeti, always Yeti. Looks as though we're going to have a Yeti. While you folks choose, Umbradome says, I wonder if I'll ever use that Ravenhold rep I have in WoW. Oh, was there? I can't even remember if there's something you could buy with it. I know the rep you mean. It was the farms. Ravenhold was the farms in, I'm going to say, I can't remember what it's called. Near South Shore. Tarren Mill and South Shore, near there. Arathi Highlands. Kanigits, looks like a Yeti. We've got a Yeti. Yeti, a brilliant basic that if you're new to Hearthstone you can just grab straight away. 2 Yetis in all decks. Booty Bay Bodyguard, Spellbreaker or Sulfur. Sulfur used to be 0 mana, now 1. 4 damage, discarded random, still a good nuke. Spellbreaker, Silencers, always handy. 4/3 will probably survive for a turn. 3 health a little on the low side, but Silencers are good. And then Taunts are also good. The Booty Bay Bodyguard is kind of like the Spellbreaker in that it has the card text but has the slightly lower health for its mana cost to kind of contradict it, sort of counterpose it a little bit, counteract it. So do we fancy a tank, do we fancy a silence, or do we fancy a nuke at this stage in the game? Pretty much any of those are fair game. All of them will add to our deck in some way, all of them could be quite useful. So no real issues with picking any of those 3. So one seems to be Dividing Opinion, Beauty Bay Bodyguard, Soulfire, toss up between Soulfire and Spellbreaker, Soulfire. If votes might be going Soulfire's way. We shall just have to see. Soulfire, Soulfire, Soulfire. Soulfire looks like it's coming through. Okay, we'll grab a Soulfire. Next, Puddle Stomper, Leper, Gnome, and Wisp. Okay, well, there's a crowd favourite in there. Another crowd favourite really in Leper Gnome. Puddle Stomper we may as well cover. Puddle Stomper is a solid minion. He is a Murloc. Leper Gnome is 2 for 1. You get that 2 additional damage unless it gets silenced, very much like the Loot Hoarder, but cheaper and doing more damage. And indeed, he feels icky. And then the Wisp. The Wisp is a hero or a heroine of folks in chat. A heroine of FailCraft Casts. How is it useful? No one really knows. But is it always picked when it turns up? Yes. Wisp. I see Wisp, 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 Wisp. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna pick Wisp. Give me a big hug. Next we've got Sludge Belcher, Slood, Nerubian Egg, and it is your Drake. So the Slood, we've got 1. Do you want 2? The Nerubian Egg, still pretty good. If you can destroy it, then you get the 4/4 Nerubian. Of course, sits there and is useless unless Area of Effect abilities go off, consecrates, all of this kind of thing. Or, of course, we can turn it into a tank with a Defender of Argus or a Sunfury Protector. Then the Azure Drake, the triple threat. He sings, he dances, he acts, he has spell damage, he draws a card, he is 4 attack and 4 health. For a 5-mana card, lots of things good about an Azure Drake. Kind of like the Swiss Army knife of Hearthstone cards. Can be used in many different contexts. Drake and Belcher. It looks like people fancy more Drake. 2 Belchers, very nasty to try and get past an arena. If you're throwing down tank upon tank, but I can feel Drake as well. Egg is okay. Any more? At the moment we're sitting on a Drake, unless anyone ponders otherwise. Speaking or forever holding your peace. Drake it is. So next we've got a Kobold. Yep, Drake comes through. A Kobold Geomancer, a Succubus, or a Frostwolf Grunt. We've got 2 solid minions there. We've already covered the Succubus. It's a pretty good card. The Frostwolf Grunt is solid with Taunt, and the Kobold Geomancer is solid minion with spell damage. Nothing more to say about that 3-pick. It's 10 cards, so we'll do our first quick deck review. Rule number 2, mana curve spells against minions. Looking a bit more early game at the moment, but really just a standard early spread. A bit hard to tell until we get to about 15 cards what the deck's looking like. Spells against minions, we have Soulfire, Demon Fire, and then rest of minions. 2 spells, 8 minions. We're kind of a minion playing, minion trading minion playing and trading kind of style. And then last but not least, turn by turn plays. Wisp, well, it'll win us the game whenever we play it, of course. Soulfire Control could nuke to the face. Demon Fire can buff. No demons at the moment for us to buff with it, so it's at the moment it's a removal card. Draw cards, play. All of these are play on site minions at the moment, so that's nothing too sophisticated, nothing we really need to worry about. So, reasonable start. A good core of minions there as always, so you guys have done a good job. Looks like a Succubus gets the nod. Next, ooh, sorry, I was just a bit slow. It was a split between Succubus and Geo. It was a little bit too hasty, not even being slow. So I've jumped in a bit too fast. I do apologise. I've taken a streamer's choice and gone for the Succubus. A nice early game pressure. Voidwalker, Healbot, or Owl. Owl is a nice cheap silence. In the early game, we can use that whenever we want. Healbot, restore 8 health to your hero. Again, people like picking cards in Arena that restore my health. They think for some reason that I'm going to need to heal myself up. Some strange, crazy reason. It's not as though we ever take damage. Ever. And then last but not least, a Voidwalker. Well, threat down, early game, taunt, nice, solid wall. I'm just going to bow to the vote. It's going to be a Hillbot. But Hillbot, very good card. Getting some health back in Arena, always nice. Interesting 3-pick here. Demon Fire, we have 1. Do you want 2? Bloodsoul Raider. A solid minion, and even better if you're a weapon bearing class, which we're not, but it's still solid minion. 2/2/3, that can do some good trading. It's kind of like a junior spider tank. And then the Annoyatron. Taunt, Divine Shield, annoy. So yeah, the Annoyatron, an annoying early game tank. And annoying, only annoying because it's effective, you know. It's easy to hate on the Annoyatron. Any of the Tron cards. The Annoyatron and the Blingatron. I really want to try Blingatron in a mage deck. There's a mech mage with Blingatron that looks quite fun. It's another story. Annoy. I think I know where that's going. Next we've got a Void Crawler, a Salty Dog, or a Spider tank. Void Crawler, random demon from your hand to the battlefield. Great if you have demons. We have none. Salty Dog, low health, may well get killed. That's the problem. You play a Salty Dog and then that 4 health is just a little bit too low for him to stick on the table. And then last but not least, Spider Tank. 3/3/4, doing whatever a Spider Tank does. 2014 was really the year of the Spider Tank, I think. You had Watch Dogs. Was Watch Dogs out last year? It was, wasn't it? Please tell me it was. Or was it 2013? Oh, years are disappearing. I'm losing track of what year it is. Spider Dog, Tank, Salty Dog, Spider Dog, Tank, Salty Dog. I think we're split. Spider Tank does everything Spider Tank does. Let's go for the tank. Tank we get. Tank is just again, it's a more than solid 3-drop. You'll just get so much tradey value and pressure at that point in game. Silvermoon Guardian, 4/3/3, that's a solid minion that can make trades, nothing wrong with that in a 4 spot. Gnomish Inventor, Battle Cry of drawing a card, 2 attack, 4 health. We'll trade some small minions away. Good if you can throw down a Defender of Argus or a Sunfury Protector. Nice sort of tanky, annoying card to get past. And last but not least, Sassy Deckhand we've already covered. What do they fit this? SM Guard. Say some. Inventor maybe. Say others. Silvermoon? Silvermoon, guide me. Righty ho. At the moment we're Silvermoon Guardian in. Inventor. Ooh, direct split down the middle. Unless there is. It is signing vote. I'm gonna jump in. Streamer's choice, that'll be then. Ooh, do we want more card draw? Do we want things that trade? I'm gonna take my streamer's choice because we're pretty split down the middle. I'm gonna go with Inventor because I like some card draw. Ooh, interesting 3-bit here. The Mana Addict, the Mistress of Pain, or the Doom Guard. Doom Guard, discard 2. Battle Cry, of course, not great, but attacking, finishing, pressuring, good for winning in general. Mistress of Pain, I love this card if you can fit it in with a Hobgoblin. And the reason for that is because you can have some good fun in terms of Hobgoblin buffing any 1 attack minion by 2/2, and of course that then becomes a 3/6, and then the more damage the Mistress of Pain can do, the more it is healing your own hero. It's a really nice card. In fact, I actually want to try and build a Demon Lock deck that features that quite heavily. And it's brilliant in the early game, because if you can buff that in the early game, it's great against aggro as well, and if you can heal it up and similar. So we have votes for Doomguard, Mistress of Pain covered. Mana Addict, whenever you cast a spell, gain 2. We do have some cheap spells, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest priority. Doomguard, Doom for all. That's a Doomguard vote if ever I saw one. Next. We have Corruption, a Mechanical Yeti, or an Ironforge Rifleman. Corruption, choose a minion at the start of your turn, destroy it. So if your opponent has that minion for one more turn and then it dies, good removal for mana efficiency, but slow. That's the problem with Corruption, very like the dots, the damage over time in World of Warcraft. Mech Yeti, like a Chillwind Yeti, but you give each player a spare part. And then Ironforge Rifleman, dealing 1 damage, that's a solid minion. People have gone for Yeti very sensibly. Some nice mid-game pressure there. Next we've got a Goldshire Footman, power over Whelming, or a Tinkertown Technician. So between those three, we're almost at another deck review point. I'll do a deck review at 20 cards. Goldshire Footman, an okay early game tank. It's neither the best tank nor the best attacking card. Tinkertown Tech, great if you have mechs. We have, I see 1 mech, I see 2 mechs, 3 mechs. Tinkertown Tech is okay. We've got enough mechs so we might trigger it for the 4/4 and a spare part. But 3/3, if you play it with a mech, it's then a 4/4 and you get a spare part. Good for the trades. But power overwhelming, give a friendly minion 4/4 to the end of 10, then it dies horribly. It dies horribly. Horribly, horribly. Great for making sort of upscaled trades. Great for making, if you want to call it value, call it value. No one's going to have a go at you, but good value trades. Taking your smaller minions, that's only 1 mana, and then trading for larger minions, or just doing that last reach out of damage to destroy your opponent. We have covered the Annoytron. Shadow Bolt, an okay nuke. Dark Bomb is 2 mana and 3 damage. This is 3 mana and 4 damage. Dark Bomb normally used in the early game to control aggro, so this is situational. Dread Infernal. Well, we're kind of lacking 6/7 drops. We could have a Dread Infernal. 1 damage to all other characters, interesting. 666, the number of the beast. In a demon in a Warlock deck. That seems to work quite well, I think. And last but not least, what be you fancying? Some Infernals, some Annoytrons. 20-card deck review very, very shortly. At the moment, that's going to be Dreadlock Infernal. Dreadlock Rasta. The power. I'm trying to do a Jeremy Clarkson impression of the power overwhelming. The power. Okay. I think that's a Dread Infernal. Next, Big Game Hunter, Clockwork Giant, or Enhance Meccano. Oh, that's a fun 3-pick. Right, Big Game Hunter removes minions with attack of 7 or more. Good at getting rid of big stuff. How much big stuff we're going to see in Arena, just don't know. Clockwork Giant, 1 less for each card in your opponent's hand, a good finisher. In Arena, you will probably get a clogged hand at some point. The mid to late game, Clockwork will hit the table for you. Now, Enhanso, very interesting card. Give your other minions Wind Fury, Taunt, or Divine Shield. If we can get 3 or 4 minions stuck to the table and play Enhanso Meccano, it should probably win us the game. But it's kind of like it in Zoo as well. The Enhanso Meccano, those effects, obviously it's random, but if they're all taunts, it really messes up your opponent. Wind Fury, then your opponent has to try and kill off your big minions as soon as possible. Divine Shield really slows your opponent down. So if we have enough big minions or useful minions on the table, Enhanso could just straight out win us a match. So worth considering. Everyone is going for Big Game Hunter. my attempts at rocking the vote, even though I shouldn't, not really working very well. Leave it a little bit longer, but I think Big Game Hunter is going to get a nod. We will see. We'll see. Maybe we're going to play some Giants. BGH is so powerful, says Umbra Domo. Very, very true. It is. If there's just that one time that we play against something big, then Big Game Hunter is sort of doubly effective in Arena. Particularly, even though larger cards might be rare in Arena, but but that makes the removal, you know, you're not going to have so much removal in Arena. Big Game Hunter gets the nod from chat. As always, we trust in you. We trust you. We trust each other. Our Money Berserker, War Golem or Corruption. Our Money Berserker, good if it goes from a 2/3 to a 5/2. Pretty solid. War Golem, the definition of solid minion. 7/7/7. Nothing else going for it. Nothing else against it. You play it, it's probably going to do some damage. And then another Corruption. Right, deck review time. Let's take a look at Mana Curve. We're now looking very strongly, quite a lot at 2 drops. We'll have a look at that in a sec. So probably quite a bit of early game pressure there. And then a reasonable showing in the mid game, 4 and 5, but not much at 6 and 7. So spells against minions, if we take a look at that as well. Are we trading with minions, or are we throwing lots of spells around? We've still only got the Power Overwhelming, Soulfire and Demon Fire, and everything else I think is minions. 3 spells and a Titanic. And then last but not least, let's go turn by turn by turn. Players we like, make good trades, or nuke for win. Ditto with Power Overwhelming actually. Removal. Players we see. Hold for big minions. Players we see. Play as we see. Players we see. Hold for low health. Players we see. Hold for victory or good trade because of the discarding 2 cards. And then the rest of players we see. So this is a pretty solid 10 by 10 by 10 deck with 10 cards left to go. We need to take control and trade well with minions and our spells in the early game. Grab control of the mid game. Seems to be the theme of a lot of our arena decks, with us big glut of 4 and 5 drops, and then win the game in the mid to mid late game. How can we use this to affect our last 10 picks? We could take some more 3 or 4 or 5 drops to really cement our mid game. We could pick a couple of late game drops to make sure we win in that late game. Taking a look at here, we don't have loads of tanks, just got the Sludge Belcher. I might grab another tank or 2 if they turn up, or perhaps another minion, as we said before, minions in the 3 to 4 range, to make sure once we've grabbed control of the table in this early stage, we can push through to the mid game. Golem gets everyone's votes. So next we've got a Gilblin Stalker, a Puddle Stomper, or another Corruption. There's 3 Corruptions. They really want us to pick Corruption. Gilblin Stalker, stealth, 2 attack and 3 health. A really solid card. New with Goblins versus Gnomes. That's really going to help in the early game against aggro, or you can just chip away at your opponent with it, so nothing bad about it. Puddle Stomper equally solid, stats just the other way around. And then finally a Corruption. So given that Corruption keeps rearing its ugly head, you folks entertaining the possibility of a Corruption? Stalker. Committed pick of a Stalker there, no doubt whatsoever. And last but not least, 2 Stalkers. Ooh, looks like a straight down the middle pick. And choose a minion at the start of your turn, destroy. Some control or minions. Okay, streamer's choice. I'm going to go with Corruption. I have no idea how that's going to work out, but I'm just curious. I'd like to experiment with it. Next we've got Undertaker, Explosive Sheep, or Frostwolf Warlord. Undertaker, great if you have death rattles, not as strong as it used to be. It used to gain attack and health. Now it only gains attack, I think. Yes. Cool. Undertaker wasn't even changed that long ago, my memory's going. But we do have death rattles. They will benefit Undertaker. Not as much as it would have been done in the past, but there is some benefit there. Explosive Sheet, excellent for sheep, removing aggro. 2 damage to all minions. Our minions, their minions, strafes the board, good clearance. And then Frostwolf Warlord, gain 1/1 for each other friendly minion on the battlefield. If we've got a lot of minions, we can get everything nice and big. Apologies if you hear some snoring, that is Shep. He's clearly quite tired. Warlord could sheep. Dome says, unless you have a way to freeze or stop the corrupt minion, Corruption is hard to use. That is true, Umbra. People very often try and sacrifice that corrupted minion as soon as possible. I'm guessing there's a bear in chat, and I'm pretty sure that's a vote for a sheep. Sheep. Sheep gets the nod. Next, we have a Blood Imp, Explosive Sheep, or an Acolyte of Pain. We've got one sheep, do you want two? That could be some craziness. The Acolyte of Pain, whenever it takes damage, draw a card. If it's damaged more than once, we're drawing multiple cards and getting good card drawing power. A very good draw engine card. And then Blood Imp stealths up. At the end of your minion, just gives another random for any minion 1 health. If your opponent doesn't have area of effect damage, so Whirlwind, Barongeddon, Consecrate, Holy Nova, you name, all of that kind of stuff. It can be pretty handy. Acolyte of Pain, Blood Imp, the pain speaks to me. Acolyte of Pain. Okay. Can you hear that snoring? Yeah, Dread Infernal, says Umbra. Yeah, very good point. That can certainly trigger a Acolyte of Pain. That looks like an Acolyte of Pain. I see 1 pain, 2 pain. Let's grab Pain then. Next we've got an Emperor Cobra. Oh, I was just a little bit too slow. Again, a little bit too quick. We had a draw between Imp and Pain. The Cobra, the Knife Juggler, or the Illuminator. 5 cards to go, we're almost there. Cobra, destroy any minion damaged by this minion. Good for traits. Juggler, if we throw down cards after that, then we'll deal damage to random minions. So pretty handy. And then also Illuminator, good if you have secrets and you can put it up behind the tank. Illuminator I quite like as a card. Good for secret bearing classes. However, we're not one of those. So what do you fancy between those three? Cobra, we have Juggler. Cobra and Juggler. Illuminator, if we ignore that ability, 2 attack and 4 health, it's not the worst trading early game minion. I'm going to say that's a Cobra vote. Cobra Kai. Next we have a Shattered Sun Cleric. Trogdor Stupid, or War Golem. Got 1 War Golem, do you want 2? The Shattered Sun Cleric, a solid minion. The 1/1 buff also means you can trade more for less. You can trade up, make your little minions stronger, get rid of bigger minions for less. So good. Value Rock Trog. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain 2 attack, 3 attack and 5 health. Solid stats. That is a solid minion in every definition of the word, and more so. Report Ship for snoring. I shall report Ship. Alas, because I have but the one webcam, it is a choice between me and Shep. I know you'd probably rather have Shep. Righty ho. So, and then War Golem, we got 1. Do you want 2? Solid. Help us finish the game. Go on team, 5 cards to go. We're almost there. War Golem to balance out late games here strangely. We do have 1 War Golem, remember. But another one will not do us. And we've got a Ravenholt, so we've got some good 7. We've got quite a strong late game finish actually. That will become even stronger. That looks like a War Golem vote. Okay, we'll go for some War Golem. Next, Ogre Magi, Bloodfen Raptor, or the Voodoo Doctor, or Health as he is known. Ogre Magi is solid minion with the benefit of spell damage. If we want to buff up our 4 drops, no problem. Bloodfen Raptor, we've already covered, solid enough. Do we want to buff the 2 drops? Voodoo Doctor just heals something of our choice by 2. And as we heal by 2, the Voodoo, everyone is doing their best Voodoo impersonations. Voodoo. The Voodoo. Voodoo. Next, Mad Bomber. We've got 1, do you want 2? A Stone Tusk Boar charges in and then probably dies. Oasis Mutant Ninja Snapjaw. Hero and a half shell. And look at that. When the health cards come up, up pops the primary exponent of health, the National Health Service himself, as I know, voting for health. So, between these three, the Mad Bomber we've already got, the Snapjaw, great if you can turn it into a tank with Defender of Argus or Sunfury Protector, as always. Things with big health, things that are awkward for your opponent to remove, always a good target for those two cards, which is why we mention them so often. And generally in Arena they're quite handy. And then Stone plus Ball will kind of just die, might do a bit of damage. The Omns, Oasis Mutant Ninjas, I like it. Bomber, 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 all of those are bad. Okie dokie, we have a Hungry Crab, a Molten Giant, or a Bane of Doom. Hungry Crab, great if you have Murlocs. We have none. Molten Giant, 1 less for each damage your hero is taken. We're probably going to take some damage. I know it's surprising, but we're probably going to take a bit of damage, so who knows. Maybe the Molten Giant will recover, return to serve. And then Bane of Doom, deal 2 damage to a character. If that kills it, summon a random demon. That could be funny. Doom to all who oppose you. That sounds good, actually. I like the sound of Doom to all who oppose us. Molten Giant or Giants. Bane. Bane things. Or Giant. That is... It looks like a bit of a divide. Any more for any more. We need your votes. We need your votes. Bane of Doom. I like the random demon, but knowing my luck, the random demon is probably going to be absolutely average. Welcome to those of you joining us. Sign into Twitch and say hello. Okay, between these two, it looks as though the vote is Manchester City, but if it's not Manchester City, Doom. Okay, I like that. I like the decisiveness. Next, Secret Keeper, Sunwalker, or Arcane Golem. Secret Keeper, Sunwalker, or Arcane Golem. Whenever a secret is played game 1-1, we don't have secrets, so it's a fairly average 1-drop. The Sunwalker, a great mid-game tank. So strong. Nothing to be said. 2 for the price of 1 because it's got a bubble on it. Random Demon says Umbra would be a blood. You know what, with my luck it probably would. And then Arcane Golem, that giving your opponent a mana crystal can be the difference between you being in a strong position and suddenly getting binned. So you have to be careful with that card. Play it later in the game when you need the damage to win, rather than playing it when you're not going to be able to win and giving your opponent an advantage. Down goes Sunwalker. Final deck review because we're done. Loads of 2-drops are going to be very congested in the early game. We've got a fairly solid mana curve through and a strong finish, so we're not really tilting into any point of the deck in particular. We don't have to finish at any point. We can just play turn by turn by turn. Solid way to play. Spells against minions. We've added the Bane of Doom to our inventory. Or wouldn't it be amazing if we grab Mal'Ganis with Bane of Doom? Let's hope for that. Okay, I see. By that spell, 26 minions for spells, so we're playing minions, we're trading them, we're making things happen. Turn by turn, we've got a lot. We play minions, make trades, chip to the face, control the table. I think that's all this deck really is. But the simplest plans are sometimes the best ones, and sometimes the hardest to mess up. We'll see. Okay, let's get 2-3 games in. Let's see how it goes. So let's get playing. So really, we've kind of picked a nice solid deck. Tons of minions, tons of damage. But we can throw these down and basically make good trades. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay. Right, so Mulligan's strategy, we're playing a hunter. I see nothing wrong with, could keep that Cobra. Don't necessarily need the Sulfur. I'm going to bin the Sulfur, keep the Cobra, and let's mulligan for some smaller drops. And we get a Mad Bomber. Excellent. Mad Bomber in our first hand is guaranteed to surprise and delight. 0-3 Dream. So much confidence. So it can tap into a Cobra. We could coin into a Mad Bomber, but then we would probably lack a sort of second turn strategy. We can like that. I'm going to coin into a Mad Bomber. Come on, 1, 2. Mad Bomber was reasonable. 2 to our opponent, 1 to us. And of course we've got a 3-2 drop on the table, so solid minion. And goes a River Croc. But every time we attack, we decide not to... Ooh, Wisp. Go Wisp, I choose you. Oh, another Mad Bomber. Excellent. And naturally, them's the rules. We got to... Oh no! Wisp is gone. Earthen Ring Farseer, healing things back up. I don't like this. So... Gonna make the trade. Go on, Bomber, you can do it. 1, 2, 3. Exactly the same result again. So, two for ones. Mad Bomber is trying to help us. Down goes a Sun Fury, nasty. And my opponent just going to attack straight to face, taking the opportunity to chip away with Steady Shot. But look at our 4, 5 and 6 drops. For an arena, I'm not going to lie to you, this is pure evil. We can play Yeti, we can play a Sludge Belcher and a Sunwalker. It's just such a strong 3-pick in the middle of the table. And here come the trades. I can then start trading things at my leisure. A Sludge Belcher. Canada's secret powers were revealed to me the day we held it off our magic sludge and said, by the power of Grayskull. Ooh, Faceless. Faceless seems to become less popular in ladder recently, but I don't know why, because it's just evil, evil card. So evil. But let's continue with our strategy. Stratagem. I'm gonna keep Yeti alive, because if my opponent does decide to trade that Belcher next turn, I can actually trade the Belcher away and attack with Yeti and the Dreadlock. So turn 7, Spider Tank and Gnomish Inventor feel good to me. I could Emperor Cobra to get a nice sort of trade away. Yeti trading into the bubble. Remember, this is not the ladder. We could see explosive shots, multi-shot. Down goes the Direwolf, bringing a 5-drop. Cobra shot. I only see that in arena, folks. And opponent actually making some nice trades there. We are at none as good a position as we were, and of course the additional buff there a little bit problematic. The Dread Inferno is not going to let us remove everything from the table, try it as we may, so that's not the right drop here. The Emperor Cobra could let us remove some of these. The Spider Tank and similar. I'm going to Gnomish first. If we're going to card draw, we play that first. Not going to be Spider Tanking at this point. Sorry, not going to be Micro Machine at this point. Spider Tank feels like a play. We need to grab that table back under control and keep it there. Hopefully get rid of that Spiteful Smith. The Dread Infernal can let us do some... Yep, Dread Infernal can remove that next turn. Down goes the Savannah High Moon, which is a little bit painful. And look how low our health is. Opponent can just face. Not much we can do about this. So actually, suddenly getting nasty, but the Big Game Hunter is going to help us. So because of that buff, we can Big Game Hunter that away. Game's suddenly swinging against us. Shall I go for the random minion? Right, Power Overwhelming, we can trade that no problem. I can trade this no problem. Minions to trade to keep us in the game. Bane of Doom. I'm going to Bane of Doom and hope. Who said Blood Imp? Who said Blood Imp? You were correct. That is what got picked. Okay, so hanging on in, but Hunter's able to burst us very nastily. All they need is a kill command, and it is pretty much game. Or something with charge. Or a tank. There's a tank. 4/4. That pretty much sets up a win. And if only one of our heal cards came out now. And the farces. Note how these farces just keeping our opponent in the match. Right, so we are in trouble. Can we trade everything off the table? We certainly can. I don't want to be doing damage to myself now. Can't be life tapping. Hunter may well have ways of destroying me. So for us, we're going to sulfide that. What we're going to lose by crushing, fine. Table clear. Can't dread Infernal because that one damage is pretty much the difference between victory and defeat. I think we're actually down. We started this so strongly, but just a really solid mid game by our Hunter. We've missed a few of our draws. I honestly thought we were going to have a solid wave. There we go. Pretty much just a rush solid face Hunter deck, but lots of solid minions from our Hunter there. And basically they thrived upon being able to deal with the big tanks that we threw up. So I must admit I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I thought that would have gone a bit more our way, but a very solid deck from our Hunter. Swiftly moves us into game 2. Let's not have a 0-3 dream, that'd be very embarrassing. Let's try and get 2-1 or something before we finish up. That'll be a good goal, I think.
Gul'dan versus Gul'dan. Your soul shall be mine. Your soul shall suffer.
2 bombers. That's a start that we dream of. And an Acolyte of Pain actually works very well. We bomber, we Acolyte, we bomber again. We can draw some more cards. Right, let's see if we can make this work this time. Demon Fire, tap on the table. Warlock versus Warlock. Let's see what our opponent is going to be going for. Fine. And Queen's into a life tap. That's an extreme turn 1. Oh, Mad Bomber time. 1, 2. Oh, the traitorous bomber. Unexpected knife. Unexpected pain. Bombs away. Acolyte of Pain. Throw a few things in. Demon Defy something in big game. Hunter, it says Umbra. Yes, it's a very nice combo. We're going to. Hey, look at this. We've actually been set up perfectly. Destroy that. Does 1 damage. Cheers. I get an Acolyte of Pain damaged. I get to draw a card. There's the Succubus. I can even throw down another Mad Bomber next turn, and we can have delightful mad bombing, as well as potentially some more card draw. Opponent really suffering for cards, not sure what they're looking for here. Voodoo. The voodoo and the hoodoo. I'm going to be perfectly happy here. Mad bombing. 1, 2. Ugh. The traitorous. The traiting. I goes Demon Fire, but I'm going to take the 3rd card. And we actually managed to extract that 3/3/3 beautiful 3-card draw out of that Acolyte. So we've got maximum Acolyte value, which is awesome. Spider Tank could be hitting the table. Could life tap. Fell Cannon. Ooh, this is nasty. 2 damage to a random non-mech. Oh, there we go. I probably want to get that off the table if I can. Here I think Yeti. Now that can attack, but then it's going to trade either of those away. So I'm going to send my Succubus and do a little bit of face attacking. Succubus, go! Foul Cannon, one of those nasty cards. 2 damage to a non-mech. That's going to hurt. in an environment like this. Shuffling and ruminating. Let's take a little look at our next few turns. Big game, not really going to hit the table. We've kind of got a little bit of a block here until turn 7. Spider Tank can hit the deck. Soulfire can be used for control. I was very tempted to use it there, but we are going to lose something loose. Fen Creeper, very awkward tank. And we take 2 minutes. Oops, I clicked before my turn had even started there. Not actually what I meant to do, but not to worry. So I'm going to nuke that. Right goes big game. In comes Dread Inferno. Probably see some trades. So, would I have done different? Soul-fired? Probably not. Didn't realise before your card actually got drawn. Emperor Cobra. I'm expecting big cards to drop. Strangely pondering that it is a handlock. Knife Juggler, what are we going to see after? An Implosion perhaps? Summoning Portal. Minions costing less but not more than 1. And a direct attack to the face. So that Summoning Portal problematic. Don't really want that around. Antique Heal Pots. Can get myself healed back up. Can start. I'm not going to throw down the biggies just yet. I think that really I've got a utility play that I need to make here. Let's take that, and that is nice. That's exactly what we want. We can use the additional health that the heal bod is going to provide us to get greedy, take a quick card, and then Belcher, Cobra, and then Golem, Ravenholt. Depending on how these trades go, I mean, my opponent's probably going to want to play minions to try and just trigger that without having to trade a minion into it. Unless they've got a Mortal Coil, in which case that's just a straight up removal. So many possibilities. Floating Watcher. Ouch. Chip damage comes in. Really wants to chip away that Spider Tank if they can. Gurubashi Berserker. Ooh. Still not managed to get the chip, but 3 minions. There we go, third time lucky. And that's a very strong board. It's going to be hard for me to remove. Attack to the face is a very solid play. So the problem here is that if the Gurubashi takes damage, it gains 3 attack every time it does so, which is not good in the slightest. Dread Infernal is not a play, just not an option here. The Belcher is a play and I'll need it to slow down, but my opponent can still buff their minions against it, which is not so good. I think I'm going to have to get rid of the Knife Juggler. So, I want the Emperor Cobra. What I really want the Emperor Cobra to do is trade away the Gurubashi Berserker. That's the biggest, most threatening option really. The Watcher can get nasty if my opponent starts live tapping, so that could also be a problem. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so before I blow out the ears of everyone with headphones, Shadow Bolt means that that's going to get traded off the table. As long as Emperor Cobra stays alive. Now that is a pain, because Emperor Cobra was my means of getting rid of that Gurubashi Berserker. And my opponent's now got an established board, even with a win through Harpy. Note that solid minions making trades has really done my opponent a very good job here. I can throw big minions down. I did need that Annoyatron. keep me alive for one more turn, but that's the perfect fodder to buff the Gurubashi Berserker against. So we're in a very tough position here. Windfree Harpy can hit twice this turn, of course. So could even just use the Berserker. Through everything else is going to be 10, 14 damage. I think this is pretty much game. So get one more in. Okay, so to finish up, it's only going to go one way or the other. We're either going to have a resounding comeback or it's going to be a painful defeat. So challenge there. Really strong early to early mid game minions, and in arena sometimes, if you find that you're struggling in arena, try and pick early to mid game. You know, not a full on rush, but you want to be pressuring your opponent. If you win control of the table by the mid game in arena, then that's pretty much it. Kind of hard to come back. We're only King 3, see if we can go out on a high. Okay, I like an Oiatron, power overwhelming, don't need, going second. Just trade back 3, an Oiatron can hit turn 2. And we want some more early game trades. And again, that doesn't look too bad. Ravenholt we'd probably prefer to have a bit later in the game, of course. But let's see how that goes. So an Oiatron into Acolyte. Righty then. Turn 1. Shamans, of course, can combo very nice with a bit of meching. Do we coin into anything? How is that going to assist us? Probably not the greatest, because it would be more fun and enjoyable if we had the Acolyte of Pain to take the damage like we did last game. But playing an early game, Mad Bomber, 2 to them, 1 to us. That's going to be the result. People generally don't pick Nerubian Eggs unless they've got something they can trigger them with, so that strikes warning bells to me. Something nasty might be incoming. Something wicked this way comes. So expect Sun Fury, expect Defender of Argus, but above all, because it's a shame, expect Flame Tongue Totem, giving that attack so it can attack something and die. Right, onwards. Just going to keep attacking. Now, if my opponent overloads and gains, then suddenly the 5 health on that is not great, but I'd prefer to be in a position where I can take that out straight up. I could have just traded that. That may have well have been the play. So if my opponent plays overload cards on this turn, I've missed a good opportunity to get rid of that off the table. So if you see something like that may not be a threat immediately, it could become a threat later in the game. It's good to get rid of it early. Okay, so we have, oh interesting, a Wind Furying Unbound Elemental, and that's managed to of course remove my Anoitron. So Demon Fire just does our straight up removal here. We can have a very nice set of trades. Sadly that means we can't pull our other minions in. I think that this is worth doing at this point. I can just life tap into a power overwhelming, which I'm not going to use. Done some nice damage, made some nice trades. Feel as though that we're, touch wood, in a good position.
Did someone say
Oh, the Mad Bomber. I'm trying to kill his own minion, and they've managed to do it. Would you look at that? Managed to pop the 4-4, and the game is officially on. Right, so options. I can throw these down to make trades. I will lose the ability to gain cards if I power overwhelm this. I think it's kind of worth it, so I can remove one of the biggies off the table. I can take at least some damage, at least get one card draw, and then that's just going to die, and of course it dying is not it taking damage. Turn 6. I'm feeling a Yeti and a Loot Hoarder most probably. Don't need to anti-healbot just yet. Into a turn 7 Golem or Ravenholt.
I wonder.
And we see that Reckless Rocketeer. Nasty, nasty. The thing is, you can see that at this point in time, I've not got Hellfire or anything like that. There's no easy way that I can deal with it. So even though we started ahead, opponent clawing it back, I can make the trades this turn. If my opponent doesn't make them for us, and then leave my opponent with a clear table and 7 mana to spend. So now I think next turn, maybe the turn after, we could be getting into anti-Killbot territory. Of course, the unknown factor of the Loot Hoarder could give us a little bit of card draw. Who knows what that card could be? Remember, we've still got Bane of Doom. I'm hoping Bane of Doom is going to draw us Mal'Ganis. Wind Speaker, nasty. That gives 14 damage this turn, actually. Not entirely sure why he didn't Wind Fury the Reckless Rocketeer. Or she, indeed, our opponent. That would have done more damage. Hit just twice to the face. Okay, Mad Bomber gets rid of me. Oh, very fortunate he didn't get rid of the Nerubian there. That is lucky. Right, so it's our turn to Mad Bomber. Come on, get rid of the Nerubian. Yes, yes. Wind Fury. Ah, shame. Okay. Back from the junk heap. And we're healing back up. We're in this just. It is finally balanced, this game. I think I'm going to throw down the Wall Golem because I want an immediate table threat. Something that my opponent may decide to trade. Haunted Creeper, lots of big sticky minions. Look at that Archmage. Good in Shaman, of course, because you can have Craggle and lots of spells with a Shaman that does damage, 4 attack, 7 health. A very solid minion that's just going to sit on the table. Well, it's good that we've got a Wisp. I was wondering where our win was going to come from, but happily there it is. So, I think I just need to be in the position of making the trades. I cannot rush my opponent to the face. But if I can get this table under control, you see with those minions there I've got the better exchange, unless a Hex or some kind of spell that damages my War Golem comes out. Down goes Totemic. I hate the Raging Worgen. That has to die in 1. If it doesn't die in 1, then it becomes very painful. There's also a tank up and Mana Tide of all things. So we are in a problematic position. Okay, this will let us make some good trades. Think carefully. I think the Doom Guard is the play, but do I want anything on the table before I play the Doom Guard? Let's go with the Micro Machine. Who dares summon me? Okay, so all we can do... Can my opponent damage their own minion? That is the challenge. I have to remove this. No choice. And the thing is, if my opponent damages one of my minions, he can then attack for that buffed +1. So... I have to get the table under control. That is the problem. Of course, are ways that my Shaman opponent could zap his own Worgen.
I wonder.
Oh, there's the Wind Fury. There's a Bloodlust. Well played, concede. Oh, terrible. Terrible. There's our 0-3. Well, it did look so promising. Go on then. Let's draw on in and see what we get. Well, it happens to the best of us sometimes. Hey, 3 very solid arena decks I've played against. 30 in a pack. Let's draw a pack. Maybe we'll get a legendary in the pack and it'll be worthwhile. Come on. Come on, give us a Gazlo. Already know there's nothing amazing in here. 3 heal bots in a pack. That sums up our arena, I think. We get a pack and it has 3 heal bots in. It's as if it's taunting us from range. Hey, 400 dust. More packs. Packs mean prizes. Maybe more packs will mean some more cardage. Right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're live, don't go away. May do a little bit of silent streaming for a bit. Jump off the camera, stick on some music bot. If you're on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We always go live Monday through Friday. The time's down in the bottom, well, just under here actually. And we always tweet on @FailCraft Casts when we're going to go live. YouTube.com/FailCraft Casts as well. There you can find loads of other Hearthstone half hours and similar. Last but not least, website failcraft.org. So whether you're on YouTube, do say hello, Twitch, come join us live one day, or just tweet us on Twitter. It's been great to have you. I'm Hammy, and this has been FailCraft and the Hearthstone half hour. Hopefully see you sometime soon, and take it easy.